Hi, I'm Rob Youngquist, a member of Team Extenda. Today's subject is going to be data addressing. When we talk about data addressing, it's really very simple. It's no different than your normal telephone system addressing. And throughout the lesson, we will address it like that at certain times to make it simple to understand. We'll begin with layer 1, the physical layer. If you notice, it's called physical layer. That's because this is where actual electricity or light through fiber or wireless radio waves get sent out or received. This could be considered addressing as physical addressing. You can think of it as a actual physical NIC card's actual RJ45 jack, a COM port that's used for output input, or a phone system port that has a port on a digital port addressed as slot 1, port 2, as an example. The next one we'll talk about is the data link layer, which uses MAC addresses. A MAC address is a 48-bit address, and it's signed by the actual manufacturer. This is a hard-coded address. You cannot change it as a network administrator. MAC addresses are responsible for helping frames go interface to interface. Frames in the data link layer being helped by MAC addresses to get to its destination through going to interface to interface. The next layer we'll talk about is layer 3, the network layer. This uses IP addresses. Probably familiar with those. These are addresses that you as a network administrator can assign yourself. IP addresses are used to help get packets from host to host. Notice I said host to host. This is different than interface to interface that a MAC address does. IP across networks. Next we'll talk about the transport layer, which uses TCP and UDP ports. You've probably heard familiar port 80, which HTTP, your web browser, uses. TCP is considered a reliable transport medium. And UDP is considered best effort, which means it's unreliable. These ports are responsible for helping segments get from host to host at the chair. The next thing we'll talk is the application, presentation, and session layer, which carries your data. The addressing used for the upper layers can be considered many different things, but one of the common addresses used is a URL, and we'll use this as an example for upper layer addressing today. If you notice URL, the first thing you notice is HTTP. This is the type of server that your data you're trying to get resides on. This could be an FTP server or many other things. The next part of the address is the domain name, which you're all probably familiar with, and we'll start with Team Extenda. Team Extenda is just a domain name that you as a network administrator are responsible for getting, and you pick this up. It can just apply to your business, and it's just used for addressing. The next thing we're going to look at is the actual top-level domain with a .com, which is simple. That means it's just a top-level domain. It could be .com, .edu, .gov. And the next part, you see this looks very familiar. It's a directory. It's as simple as I would like a web page from the HTTP server on the Team Extenda domain, and it resides on a server in the directory of downloads. The actual file I'm trying to get is the guthy.axx and access database file. This concludes our class on network addressing. Please visit our website at teamextenda.com for more training videos and anything else we can do to help you meet your needs.